to you. Caught up in my feelings, I got feelings for you. Caught up in my feelings, I got feelings for you. On my mind, I can't lie. On my mind, I can't lie. Pull you down till you dry. Pull you down till you dry. All the time, ease my mind. All the time, ease my mind. I know that you're dangerous, I'm addicted to you. I might rent the Lambo and go drive it like it's stolen. I've been living wild, I'm just going through the motions. Stumbling out the Uber, grabbed my hand, gave me the notion. Swimming in your water, but it feels just like the ocean. I can't lie, I've really been addicted to you. All of my attention I've been giving to you. Caught up in my feelings, I got feelings for you. Caught up in my feelings, I got feelings for you. On my mind, I can't lie. On my mind, I can't lie. Pull you down till you dry. Pull you down till you dry. All the time, ease my mind. All the time, ease my mind. I know that you're dangerous, I'm addicted to you. I was sipping more for 2 years straight to the face. Champagne belly bubble still won't go away. Last year my best man hit a stain with bad face. Now he's got a hell behind the water's cold case. I wake up with pain sometime and never.
All right. Good evening, everyone. So if it's real, we're talking about it.
If it's messy, we breaking it down.
If it's trending,
If it's this, that, and the third.
all right. So we're going to go ahead and run it. So what's good, everybody? We want to welcome you to episode 40 of This, That, and the Third. This is the podcast where we talk about this, that, and everything that they don't want to say out loud. It's real conversations, real opinions, no filters, just perspective, culture, and truth. So today's episode, right, is going to be one of those conversations that might make people uncomfortable. All right. So because we're talking about what happens when enforcement turns deadly, accountability, and the real human cost behind policy. No answers, no easy answers, just real dialogue. So Shannon, where do you think this conversation is going to go?
With the panel that we have, I think it's going to take many twists and turns and thought-provoking alleys. And, this one up here in this maroon shirt might make everybody mad. We don't know. However, I think it's going to be enlightening. We might change some opinions. We might make some people think that they're right. We don't know, but we're going to see.
Absolutely. And so before we jump into it, we do want to give our guests an opportunity to tell you who they are. So Marcus, you're a first timer, so we'll start with you, sir.
Yeah, I'm Marcus Cullen. I'm a singer-songwriter, live entertainment musician. I've been doing that for 15 years. I've been traveling all over the world playing for different artists and different venues, and then additionally myself and my band. So, yeah, I've just got real-world experience in the arts, and so I meet so many different people from different walks of life and different perspectives, and I'm fortunate to meet those people because it has formulated who I am and changed me in ways that I don't think I would have ever been able to be changed if I didn't have those experiences. I'm a husband and father of 3 kids as well, and so I'm looking forward to this conversation. I definitely have some strong opinions around it, so I'm ready for it.
All right. Glad to have you. Socorro, you still with us?
I am. Hi.
All right. Tell the people who you are.
Well, I am a political strategist on the national level. Former singer-songwriter, Marcus, you and I have that in common. But a lot of my experience has been shaped from just personal situations when it comes to this particular subject. I think I've been very vocal when I've stated that I'm the daughter of an immigrant. So this is very near and dear to my heart as far as subject matter, but I didn't think we would get this far during this administration this early. So hopefully, I can gauge your interest with some of my personal experience and a lot of the facts, hopefully. So
All
yeah.
right. Glad to have you back, sis. Jill, you still with us, sir?
Don't sound like it.
Yeah, I know, right? He has that look on his face again.
It's
Can you hear
all
me?
right. We all know who Farmer Joe is.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay. Well, if you guys are hearing me, great. Joe Thompson, born and raised in Columbia, South Carolina. Currently live in Tennessee. Girls, 20 years service in the military. Experience. Um, I guess and pleasure. So I'll give my little 2 cents and
All right. Well, again, glad to have you back, Joe. And for the rest of you guys, we're certainly glad to have you back on. This is going to be a very interesting conversation. Can't wait to hear your opinions. Some audience viewers, make sure you guys react. Make sure you comment, make sure you share, and make sure you subscribe. So, without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and jump into it, man. So, I really, I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there. So, has ICE's mission drifted from law enforcement into intimidation?
Yes.
Expound
I
upon.
need to elaborate. ICE was never law
Absolutely.
enforcement to begin with.
Hmm. What
ICE
were
was
they?
never law enforcement. ICE was literally immigration enforcement. So
Which
they
would be law
technically did not,
enforcement.
well, technically they do not have the same parameters as a law enforcement official, which is why in the event that they need to, well, prior to what's recently happened, which is why they needed a judicial warrant prior to anything. Because to be fair, they only were given administrative warrants. And if you were detained, it was more than likely prior to you getting some sort of notice from ICE. I don't know what your personal experience is with this, Marcus, but just from mine, just having any sort of run-in with law enforcement, because of the 287G law. And I'm not sure if people know what that is, but
Mm-mm.
it gives law enforcement the authority to act on behalf of ICE and detain immigrants once they are taken into legal custody. So that is why I say ICE did not have the legal parameters of law enforcement, giving them the authority to do whatever they want to do at this point.
So you don't see them as having legal authority, but Marcus, you do. So what do you see differently?
Well, in their vein, in their vein of law enforcement, at the end of the day, really anybody who is in public service is in law enforcement, in my opinion. From down from same the person collecting your taxes, for your property taxes, they're enforcing the law by taking your money. You know what I mean? I feel like now the a lot of the topic is, are they overstepping their area in which they are supposed to reside in? And that's been kind of the theme really with this administration from the start is, are they overstepping in this area or that area? And that's what we're currently seeing. And I think it's the goal of any administration really to try to push the bounds. I mean, every single administration tries to push the bounds of their authority in many different ways. As far as ICE is concerned, their complete focus is to remove illegal immigrants. Um, that is enforcing the law. And so I would say that in that regard, they are enforcing the law. Now, the the conversation right now is what is too much, and what what can they really do, and it's getting very very convoluted around the country.
Would you consider civil enforcement of law versus criminal enforcement of law different when you think about law enforcement?
Yes. Yeah. There's only so much that civil, you know, municipalities can enforce, because it's based off of location, versus federal is the entirety of the United States. There are certain things that need to be enforced on that kind of level that local authorities just can't do.
So are they civil enforcement or legal enforcement?
Legal enforcement, they would more be
Or
more
sorry, not legal, criminal
criminal.
enforcement. Is ICE civil
Oh,
or criminal?
it's criminal. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And I don't know.
It's
Let
not
me
civil.
explain.
If you're
I'm
if you're
asking questions because I don't know. I don't know the
No,
answer.
so like
Yeah.
as of right now, they are criminal.
Yeah.
Right now. Like prior to this administration, if we're being 110% politically correct, prior to this administration, I'm gonna say this, and a lot of people are not gonna like this, but the Obama administration deported, I think it was 3.5 million people,
A lot of people.
and it's a lot of people. I mean, let's be fair here. My dad was also detained during that administration. However, however, um, there were a lot of local counties immigration rings, if that makes any sense. I don't know if you guys can hear still or not. Um,
Yeah, we hear you.
but Lexington County was one of them. I don't know if you guys have heard of that, but anyway, it came down to it. Some of those people who were detained based off of simply the fact that they were illegally detained. So when we're talking about criminal law enforcement, we're speaking of a police officer, we're speaking of a district attorney, we're speaking of someone who has the capacity legally to arrest you based off of a criminal offense. Being here illegally is not a criminal offense, technically. What it is a borderline, like you're cross section, like figuratively and literally when it comes to immigration law. It just became a criminal thing, as in when we talk about getting rid of quote unquote degenerate people and all these cartels and mafias, etc. Those aren't even the people that are being taken in right now. The problem is that the low hanging fruit are the poor people. That's been the issue right now. And I think if it was really the mafia and the cartel, people would not have a problem. But the low hanging fruit are the poor people and the people who do not have the capacity to gain legal representation, or they're trying to go through the legal process and then they're getting tagged by ICE and getting picked up. That's where we're having the problem right now.
Right. Now, let me ask because I know that when we hear about everything that's going on with ICE and the people, some of the people, I can't say all because I don't know all the incidences that have happened. But when the people who are dying aren't immigrants, to me that does pose a bit of another issue entirely. So like, is there ever a justified use of deadly force in immigration enforcement?
Yes.
Okay, explain, Marcus.
Uh, I mean, every single instance has its own merit, or lack of merit. But you can't blanket across the board say that uh, an officer has no right to protect himself. That it's just unfortunate that some of these instances um, are triggered by different factors. Um, and so we have two recent ones, that have been really highlighted, and Renee Good and Alex, and
Hmm.
and those are two totally separate scenarios, uh, in which you know you're looking at, does this person have the right to end a life, you know. And with the Alex situation, it's a hard no for me.
Mm-hmm.
There's literally, I don't care what you say. There's no wiggle room there. They had the man subdued and had him on the ground. He posed no threat. Um, okay, so he had a gun on him. Okay, I just don't understand. Oh, he may have had a second gun. There's 5 officers on top of him. So you're telling me that he was in a place of, being able. He was belly down, with his arms behind him, completely subdued. There's nothing that man could have done. The Renee Good, there's too much areas of gray there. Um, there's too much speculation and areas. With the Alex situation, there's just there's there's no gray area there. I mean, I've tried listening to all sides of the argument, but every single one always leads me back to this man was completely subdued. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so, but should we look at another fellow human being and saying, if somebody legitimately threatens your life and puts you in a place where you might not go home to your family, you can't protect yourself? I don't think that's right.
Yeah, I know that even the thing with Renee Good, I guess that too, it is a lot of gray area. But I think one of the things that kind of touched me with her was her saying to the ICE officer, "Hey, I'm not mad at you. Calm down. It's okay. I'm not mad." To me, that was like, what was his disposition in the first place? Was he that aggressive that she felt she needed to ask him to calm down or to tell him that she wasn't mad at him? And then why did he have that disposition off the rip?
Well, and,
Um,
and, and that's when we start playing the what if games, right?
yeah.
What if this specific officer had 7 or 8 of these very same altercations that day? And
Hmm.
maybe he was just like, I am so sick and tired of this, you know? And, but at the end of the day, with her, she ignored a lawful order and did not stop in her tracks.
Hmm.
She tried to drive her vehicle. There's too much gray area there. And I listen. I'm not one for loss of life. I hate that. I hate that. It's absolutely completely awful. But I also feel, if the reason why the officers were approaching her in such ways because she was impeding in their investigation, their mission, to get a certain person or whatever. I There's just a lot of gray area there.
I know. I feel you. It's hard because you would think that the bar has to be set really, really high for you to shoot. You would expect that it will be very, very high for you to shoot. And even in that situation where she's not obeying a lawful order, which I fully think that she should have, was that high enough of a bar to shoot her 3 or 4 times? Like that's what I'm just struggling with. Yes, she should have stopped. Yes, she should have been out of the way. But does that mean that that was enough to take
Yeah,
her? I don't know.
it's
And it's
hard.
like,
It's hard because
yeah.
they even came out with stories of, and I don't. Please, everybody else, you can cut me off, but I'm here. I'm here to give an opinion. So,
No, you're
you know,
good.
uh,
Talk. We
at
talk.
the end of the day, that same officer was ran over 3 weeks ago, and so does
That
that
makes
is
me
it?
think should he have been on the job? Because
He
I
shouldn't
thought,
have. He shouldn't
yeah,
have. And you're
yeah.
right. You're right. He should have had enough time to
Hmm.
recoup from not only the physical side of that, but
Psychological.
the psychological.
Hmm.
And there's I've one thing that I saw, and I would love to hear Joe's opinion on this.
Yes.
And hear me out. But with the Alex thing, the one thing that I saw in the reaction there was something that would happen in a foreign battlefield. My father was in Vietnam for many, many years, and he dealt with PTSD hard. And a lot of these ICE agents are veterans of foreign wars. And what I saw in that Alex video is pretty synonymous with PTSD, something that would happen in a foreign land, it's me or you. Like you're moving, you're done. So Joe, I would love to hear your opinion on this because I'm just dealing from experience of seeing my dad deal with PTSD, and so it would make sense if that person, that it took him back to a place where it's like fight or flight.
Yeah.
And Joe, the question on the table right now, Joe, is there ever a justified use of deadly force in immigration enforcement?
In immigration enforcement, yeah,
Yes,
it's
sir.
it's a it's a justified use of deadly force or seriously bodily harm when you're dealing with law enforcement. Period. The bottom line is, they're a government agency. You have to comply. You may not like it, and if you pose a threat, at the end of the day, those folks want to get back home to their families. Bottom line. So yeah, sometimes it may require that. You hate to see it, and you would hate to see somebody try them. But at the end of the day, they're there to enforce a law. They're to enforce some type of policy. They enforce some type of rule. You have to comply.
And Joe, from a I guess from talking about the most recent situations, the deaths that have happened at the hands of ICE, do you
Mhm.
feel that the use of deadly force was justified in both those situations?
I don't know too much about the Alex situation. Honestly, it looks like an accident to me from what I've saw. Um,
Accident,
Shooting?
accident. How? Like
yeah,
let
Boy, stop.
it don't look like it was meant for him to be shot.
okay,
To me,
okay,
right?
okay.
Um, as far as the other person, I forgot her name.
Renee.
Anyways,
Rachel,
yeah.
Renee.
If you
Renee.
try to go at a law enforcement officer with your vehicle after they done told you to stop multiple times, that person, yeah, he will shoot you.
So where does excessive force? Where's the line for excessive force?
When you turn your vehicle off and comply with the orders,
Explain. Sorry.
when you turn your vehicle off and comply to the
He's
law enforcement
basically
officers,
he's basically saying that like the line for excessive force, like if you go
when
over
she
the
when she pressed
line,
the
is when
gas,
they
If you if
comply.
if you
Now,
when she when
comply,
she
however,
when she pressed the
however,
gas was when she crossed that line.
no, it wasn't. Let's be very clear when we talk about this situation, and this is why it's such an issue. She literally was not told to get out of the car. She was being forcibly pulled out of her car by an ICE agent at that time. She had done nothing wrong. She was literally trying to turn around in that particular instance anyway. So when
Going
we're
forward,
talking about the situation, let's look at the whole picture from the beginning of the situation. She was
well, let's
attempting to
start
turn
by what you
around.
just
She
said
was
a
not
second ago.
blocking them.
You can't go backwards going forward. She got a gear shift. Her
You
shift
can't, but
was
at
in
the
drive. How was she trying to
yeah,
go backwards?
she was doing a 3-point turn, and that officer just so happened to be standing there, and she was not trying
Okay.
to hit that officer, and that officer actually should have shot for her tire and not her.
No, you don't do that. You don't shoot
Oh,
at a tire. You shot at a tire
I'm
before?
sorry. I'm sorry, but my uncle was a state trooper for 27
It
years.
don't matter. It don't matter what
I'm
he used to
sorry, we're
do.
not talking.
I'm telling
But
you,
we're but we're talking
as
about deadly force and excessive
again,
force.
as a person that's trained with weapons, you do not shoot tires.
That is the
There's a
Well,
reason
is
for
military,
it
that.
a
not the
difference
police
between?
department.
It doesn't
That's what I'm
matter
trying
what
to get
branch
you
of
to.
service.
It does
Okay, you
matter.
got
They
it.
are
You got
trained.
it.
They are
Okay.
not trained the same.
I
Well,
They
highly
are not
advise
trained the
you
same.
or
I'm
any other
asking
listener do
Joe.
not ever shoot at a tire. There's a
Let me
reason for
ask
that.
this question,
I
Joe.
highly advise you to not literally
Okay.
engage with people in that particular manner in the first place. Because let's be real. Let's be quite honest. These people were in their neighborhood trying to round up people, first of all, forcibly, not even in a legal manner, not with legal documentation. They were literally stopping cars, telling them, "Where's your documentation?" Number one, that is not ICE's job to do. That's not their job. And if you go and look at the immigration website, it literally tells you what they do and the parameters of what they do. And to be honest with you, I ain't never met an ICE agent who basically used excessive force with people. in that manner until
You
recently.
never met an
These
ICE agent.
people,
Is the point?
first, no, I have actually. My dad. Let's be very clear. Yes, we have had those encounters before. Like I,
Well, Joe, I
Right.
guess my
I
question
think
is,
I've
are
had
you
to make
speaking
that very
from like
clear.
military training versus police training? And is there a difference between how like you would behave with an enemy combatant and how someone
Oh no,
on
it's
the
definitely
police
different
force
rules.
should behave with a
Yeah, it's definitely different rules of engagement.
okay.
I can't speak on behalf of ICE or what their specific rules of engagement. What I would tell you, for any law enforcement, if you use a vehicle and you driving towards that person, he can shoot you.
But let me be very clear when I say this: ICE is not considered law enforcement.
It doesn't
Like,
matter.
listen. I understand Marcus's point of what law enforcement is considered. Like you said, anybody, a tax person, can be considered somebody who's enforcing the law. Legally, yes. From the legal standpoint, yes. When we speak of law enforcement, we're speaking of someone who can literally carry a weapon, someone who can detain you, someone who can arrest you, someone who is actually following the code of law to protect and serve you. We are not talking about immigration custom enforcement.
Okay.
They are not the same.
It
Because
These
doesn't
I
matter.
thought
ICE
that was
officers,
civil.
All I'm
I
saying
thought
is,
immigration
if you
enforcement
use
was
a
civil.
vehicle,
it is civil.
again,
It is
if
civil.
a law enforcement agent, if
But
you
that's
use
not
your vehicle, if you use your vehicle to charge at that person has the right to shoot you.
this is where we're having the
Period.
problem.
What
As an ICE agent,
that's
you should
fine.
not have a gun
I'm
on
just
you
making my
to
point.
begin
That's all.
with. I
And I'm
understand what you're saying. You're not wrong, and you're not wrong. You
I
have
know
the
I'm
right
not
to
wrong.
do that, but it
But what's
doesn't
I
mean
guess
at
my
the end
point
of
is,
the
what's the
day
point
that
of the
this
pushback?
particular situation was correct. This particular situation that you're speaking of, you are not correct in, and that
I
is why
wasn't ask,
we have the
I
issue.
wasn't asking if I was correct or
You're
not.
asked
I'm telling
specifically
you,
about the
if a
Renee
law
Good
enforcement
situation and
officer
her using
tells you
her
to do
vehicle.
something, they stand in front of your vehicle, you hit the gas on that
Okay, well,
person,
we're
he's
going to
and
going
have
to
I'm
shoot
to
going
you.
disagree.
to
This
I'm
person is
gonna
not
bring
law
I'm
enforcement.
gonna
Kyle,
bring
you're gonna
Marcus
have to
back through
break
in
the
a second.
tie. Break the
Joe,
tie.
you did mention that when it comes to law enforcement and you in the military, obviously rules of
Hmm.
engagement are different,
Different.
right?
Yeah.
And I don't know all the details of what happened with the Renee situation, but from my purview, it did not appear like the officer was in the range for him to be run over by the vehicle, and he shot after she had already passed him. He shot into the vehicle. So again, I don't. I guess my major thing is whether it's military, whether it's ICE, whether it's law enforcement, they are trained to handle certain situations, right? And just I just don't feel that that situation was handled to the best way
And
that it
that's,
could have been.
here's the thing, right? We're trained as citizens to behave a certain way too. We're also trained as citizens to follow orders. You go up there antagonizing people while they working, then you have to deal with the consequences. Simple as that.
Yeah, I can take the
My only issue
consequences.
But
with that though, when you say we're trained to follow orders, like
Hmm. Yeah.
I'm going to comply to a certain extent. I'm not
Hmm.
going to. If I'm
You're not
innocent,
gonna
if I
risk
haven't
your
done
life.
anything, no, I'm not going. No, I'm not going to risk my
Yeah.
life. But at the same
Exactly.
time, it's because I got a family I got to get home to. So I
Bingo.
know for me personally, there have been times there are things that I wanted to say that I
Hmm.
didn't say because I'm like, you know
Right.
what? If I say this, it's going to go left.
Right.
Um,
And we've been taught that since
you're
day
not.
one.
But you're
We've
not
been
going to
taught that
sit here
since
and
not
act like there
elementary school.
aren't people
the
who are
issue
in law
is
enforcement or who are in these.
if you're enforcing the law, you're trained to handle that. But if
Hmm.
I'm an
Thank you.
ordinary citizen, I'm not trained to do that. I'm trained to, I was raised a different way. You know what I mean? So I don't necessarily have that actual training. But again, in my opinion, it's up to law enforcement to do what they got to do to de-escalate the situation.
Hmm.
Do you know what separates a civil arrest versus a law enforcement arrest?
Me personally,
I mean,
uh,
yeah. I mean,
well,
I would go with qualified immunity is what would separate a police officer
uh,
versus a civil arrest, right? Every single one of us here have the ability to arrest somebody if we see them breaking the law,
yeah,
but we don't have qualified immunity.
right,
We're held to a completely different set of rules there. Um,
right.
but
Oh
Mm.
no.
Oh, we lost him in here. Here he comes. We lost him in
Mid
mid thought.
mid minutes.
No, but he was right though.
There we go. Sorry. I
All
don't know
right,
what
now we
happened.
lost Hook. Yeah, I don't know what happened.
I don't know
Yeah,
what
we good.
happened.
Yeah, we're good. Go ahead, Marcus.
Yeah, so I was just saying, we have to understand when qualified immunity is lost, when the actual rights of an American citizen is violated. See, that's the issue when it comes to ICE. These people do not have the same rights as an American citizen, but they still have rights as humans. But we have to understand and clearly define what those things are,
Okay.
which
And
they
I'm
are
just
clearly defined in, but it's like, have you taken the time to read it? And then, what's overstepping in the enforcement of this?
where do you
Yeah.
think they're clearly defined? You're talking about in the Constitution or in the parameters that ICE are supposed to follow? Where are they clearly defined?
In
With
the
the
Bill
right?
of Rights. In the Bill of
Yeah.
Rights, it's clearly defined.
Okay.
Additionally, when it comes to this Renee Good situation, Joe's right. He's absolutely right. If she would have just complied, but additionally, you know, I, myself and the gentleman in this chat and Shannon, you as well, like
Hmm.
we're not out there impeding law enforcement's ability to do their job.
Yeah.
Well, these people who are impeding, they're going to get the business. I don't understand. Like, I really don't understand that. You put yourself in harm's way and then you get mad because you get harmed. You know what I mean? I don't get that mentality. I personally have a lot of opinions, but you're not going to see me out there impeding law enforcement, local, state, or federal, based off of those. Now, if they try to impede my rights as a citizen, that's when I will get angry. That's when I will bite back because you can't do that. That's when you lose your qualified immunity, in my opinion.
Well, I guess that's the line that we don't understand. It's like when these people maybe who um, go against them, do they feel like their rights have been violated? So now they feel like what you just mentioned, Marcus, that it's now time for them to take a stance. And when they take a stance, if they feel that their rights are being violated, do ICE or any other legal law enforcement person have a right to use deadly force or to hurt them or cause them bodily injury?
Well,
If I feel like you're violating my rights and I take a stand, like you just mentioned, where's the line?
well, in the state of South Carolina, if you commit domestic violence,
Uh-huh.
and you're convicted of that, uh, you can't own a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
So if you decide to carry a weapon, you're now violating the law, and
Mm-hmm.
you will be arrested. Okay, I don't live in this country. I've decided to enter this country. Obviously, we know that's a no-no. You have broken the law. You will be deported. That's the results of that. The issue that we're having is how ICE is doing it. I I'm
I
real
don't have an issue with it.
well, there's just the far left has demonized ICE so much that they've had to mask because these people are fathers, they are mothers, and so they need to
Mhm.
be able to go home and separate work from family. But the issue is the far left is demonizing them so much. These people are being stalked and being threatened, and of
Mhm.
course they're gonna mask. I mean,
And
I
Mark
would.
and Marcus, I totally agree with you in terms of if you enter this country illegally, you have a risk of being deported, right?
You
Illegally.
rolled the dice. My
How
wife's an immigrant, so it's
yeah.
like we got the green card.
However, comma pause. The issue I have is that the most recent people that have died have been American. They aren't immigrants. So
Well, they were
that's where I have an
impeding law
issue.
enforcement. They were impeding
Were
law enforcement.
were they though? Were
No,
they?
Well,
sir.
And
that's
No,
my
I
sir.
think that's
I'm
where the
question.
going to
lines are
Yes.
disagree
really
with you on
blurred.
that.
Yeah,
Were they
that was my
really?
Well,
question. If
And
yeah.
I'm
they
going to disagree with
violated,
you.
Why are you in
Peaceful
denial that
protest
they
is
were
So
not
impeding?
well,
Why
so
else would they
peaceful.
dare, Hook?
No, no, sir.
even if they impeded what ICE was trying to do, did it deserve a death sentence?
well,
Let me
that
Yeah,
was. Can
explain
I
to
go
y'all.
yeah,
back
Let me
one
explain
yeah.
y'all
It
second?
what
Can I
does.
go
sodomy is
back one
federal.
second?
It
That was my
does.
whole question to
No, it
Marcus
doesn't.
or
It's the
to the
same reason
panel.
why nobody on this panel bother with the police.
Joe,
right? Or bother with
let
any other law
me
enforcement while they doing their job. We
Joe, let
don't
me
do
go
that.
I'm
back to
sorry.
my
I deal with
The
Secret
people
Service
that's trying to
employees
do
every
that,
day.
they asking for consequences, worst case death. They
No,
ask
they're
for that.
not. No, what it is, and I think where we're having this disconnect is you are not understanding what is happening right now in
I
places like
don't want to
Minneapolis.
understand. This is
You
why I
should
don't bother
understand,
with
and
the
that's
police.
the
I
problem.
no, I won't do that, sis.
And that is the problem because
No, it's
eventually it's
not a.
going to
It's a
come down to
problem for
people who look
you.
like
It ain't a
you.
problem for me.
People who look
My
like you
job is to
eventually
take
are
care of
going
my
to get
family.
wrapped up in
My job
this.
is to get up and go to work, and my job is to enjoy my life.
That's
Bothering the
so
police
nice
while they
that you have
working
the
ain't on the list.
luxury,
All
but
right,
that's
Joe,
the
hold
problem.
tight. Let her
Sorry.
finish.
I'm
That,
sorry. Go ahead.
I think that's where the issue is. You're like bothering the police. See, the problem is it's not the police. It's not the police. That's the problem
Law
right now.
enforcement. Pick one.
No, 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 sir.
Pick one.
No, no, no. We're specifically talking about immigration customs enforcement.
which is
We're
civil.
specific, which is civil.
Pick one. Law
No, no, no.
enforcement,
It's not. It's
military,
not a pick one.
ICE,
It's not a pick one.
ICE
It's not
T.
a pick one.
The
And that's what
bottom
I'm
line
saying.
is
You're
just like
explaining.
nobody bother you on your job today, don't bother them
No.
on their job.
Let me be
Simple as
very
Bother
that.
me.
clear when I tell you this real quick, and I'm going to be real clear. I grew up around a lot of people who are military. I have a lot of friends who are military. A lot of people that I've dated are military. So believe me, I know what the military is about when it comes to the all around gist. Let's be very clear. I know your job is to follow orders, to be strict about your discipline. And that's fine. Civilians are not taught that. And number two, civilians have rights that you don't have because you are basically property of the government at this point. Let's be quite clear. And so, and you agree with that. So, when it comes to you having political views or anything of that, they don't give a shit about your political views. They don't care about where you come from. They don't care about any of that. But let me be very clear what's happening right now in Minneapolis specifically. And I think where you're missing this point is that this is not just an illegal immigration situation at this point. This is literally martial law and the creation of possible civil war on purpose. And you give me that look all you want to. You give
God,
me that
hey,
look all
you
you
got it.
want
You got
to.
it.
Please understand that I really want y'all to understand. I'm not saying this because I'm literally far left or far right or whatever you want to call it. Like, let's be quite clear. I see this every single day. This is my job. Okay. This is literally the exact same thing that happened when Hitler took over Germany.
Oh my God. Here we go. Freddy Krueger
History is
coming out
repeating
next.
Let
itself.
the woman make her point.
History is
I
repeating
wish she would
itself.
land her plane because all she's doing is
No,
taking up the time, just talking.
the plane has landed. And I basically said this
Thank
is
you.
exactly where we are sitting right now. And if you
I
don't
don't
believe
know if
that,
there's direct parallels between
honey, go
Nazi
look at their
Germany.
Twitter.
I mean, there's a
Honey,
big
go look at their
difference.
Twitter.
If you allow me, just very
Go look at their
quickly,
Twitter.
the SS was pulling Jews right outside their home and on the stoops of their home, shooting them in the head.
Yeah, but
It's
where did it start
completely
though?
different. I
But
mean,
where did it
it's
start?
complete.
But where
I
did it
mean,
start? Where did that Star of David come from?
I
Where
know,
did
but
having the papers come from? No, no, no. You see, you
there's so
started in the
much going
middle.
on.
See, you started in the middle of where that
I'll
happened,
give
not
you
the
that much. I'll
beginning.
give you that much, but we're not at that place.
We're not
Ever.
yet. That's the
It,
point. We're
yeah,
not there yet.
Ever. We're
yeah.
We're
not
not
ever
there
getting
yet.
to that place.
We're not
We'll
there
never
yet.
ever be in that
Here's the thing.
place.
I
If
hope
we
y'all
are
don't
getting
have
to
to
that
eat.
You
place, what
say
you gonna
that,
do about
but
it? Ain't
just
nowhere to
wait.
run.
I hope you don't have to eat
If
your
that's
words.
what you're really worried about it. Come on,
I'm
man.
not
Y'all
You
I'm not
reaching.
have to
running.
understand. You have to understand
But
that
it's the
United
fact that you're
States.
just gonna
The,
be
you have. I'm a patriot. I just want to let y'all know this. I'm an absolute patriot. I love our country. Even in the state of which our country exists right now, we are still the freest country in the entire world.
if you
Period.
think that for 1 second,
But
Oh my God.
I'm not saying that we don't have our faults. I'm not saying that. See, these conversations are what make our country amazing. These conversations are what polishes our culture as a nation to continue to be the free world. That it that's what we've been doing for 250 years, is continuously polishing a democratic republic. I mean, that's what we've been doing. And so we're in another crossroads here that is that's it's just awful. It's absolutely awful. And we're trying to find out what's the line. I mean,
But a crossroads to what? Like, I think that's the
our
fear.
destruction, or
Hmm.
the upswing.
Okay, here's the question, Marcus.
Okay.
Maybe this is just me. When you say our destruction, what was the downfall of Nazi Germany?
I would
How did
rather
it
look at
start?
Rome than Nazi Germany.
We
I'd,
can
I'd
look
rather
at
look at
Rome or
Rome.
any empire past
Because
350
Nazi
years.
Germany was under a dictatorship and Rome was under a republic. If you want to draw parallels between two government structures, then that's kind of where we would need to
But
go
the
with
problem
that.
that I'm having right now is that for the first time in history, there is a sitting president who literally has a trifecta at his fingertips. Do you understand what I mean by that? At no point in time has the DOJ ever been run by a specific president. Like
But
a president can put people in place and they can be like, oh, I want this person to be in place. They also have to be approved and appointed by Congress and the Senate, the purse strings and the law. So at the end of the day, when this person has the Senate, the Congress, and the Supreme Court at their fingertips, literally they can put whoever they want to in place with no checks or balances. This is creating the autocracy that people are missing and basically creating what I'm trying to get you to understand as far as destruction. This man literally got a plane from Qatar, and a president is not supposed to receive any funding at all to their personal bank account outside of the $400,000 that they're getting. This
but you
man
you,
is
you
getting
got to be
that.
fair across the board.
I'm
I
being
mean, you
fair
got to be
across the
fair across the
board.
board. Every single
Show me the
president
records
since
because
the
I can show
start of
you the
this country
records.
has taken gifts from
Show me
foreign
the
leaders.
records because
I,
I
I
can show
don't
you the records,
I mean,
honey.
but if you think it didn't happen, I mean, come on. I mean,
When we
like, let's be
when we're
fair.
talking
Let's be
about a
fair.
$500
We
million
got to be
dollar
fair.
gift, that's first of all a $500 million gift from somebody that we actually have a military base with. Like, make that make sense for a second. So at the end of the day, like when we're talking about this, baby, it's all full circle for me. See, I'm seeing the big picture because I work the big picture.
I feel
Y'all
you.
are
Yeah,
seeing
I
So we're
what you
feel you.
talking
see
about the
here.
difference between a
I'm
painting
seeing the whole thing.
and an airplane, like a gift that's a painting or a gift that's um,
Right. Like it's two different things, like a painting and a
an
gift.
artifact to an
No.
airplane, or selling part of your company
Or
to.
getting your son on the board of an oil company in Ukraine in
Or
which you controlled the government and then you made millions and millions and millions of dollars. But we don't
but
want to
that
talk
son
about
also
that.
has been
We don't want to
prosecuted for
talk
that
about
too,
that.
though. So
We don't.
let's be
Well,
real.
But what I'm saying is,
Let's
it's
be
it's
real.
everybody. It's every
yes,
single one of
thank
those
you.
It's not
slimy
I
every
mother.
think
single
it's not.
one.
I think it's not the
You
one
can't say that
thing.
about
So
Barack Hussein
Marcus, I could
Obama.
give you that it may be across the board, but I think the thing that scares people now and that have people looking at parallels to other times in history is the amount of the things.
No, it's just that it's at our fingertips. The numbers have been there. I mean, you gotta ask yourself why it's being highlighted. Listen, first of all, I want to clarify that I'm very much libertarian. I'm right down the middle. I'm more of a fiscal conservative libertarian because I just believe in sound expenditures of our money. But and then I believe in body autonomy. I believe that I have the right to do whatever I want with my body, and I also have the right to protect my body. And so that's me, right? So when it comes down to immigration and what's going on here, and the scope of things is we have a law to uphold. You
Mhm.
broke the law. Do not impede the execution of our law. I just it in
Period.
period. I just don't. I really just don't get it.
That's it.
Now, was that ICE officer wrong in the Alex shooting? Absolutely. There is not qualified immunity in every single incident, and I just don't believe that we should forgive a public execution like that. I just don't. I don't believe that. So I'm fair. I'm fair. Right down. But if you impede an ICE officer's ability to execute its mission, you're going to get the business. I don't understand that either. That mindset is like I disagree with a lot of stuff. I disagree with paying my taxes. You know, I mean, I believe it's theft. But guess what my ass did in January? I stood in the line and paid my taxes with a very, very large scowl on my face. So, you know, but anyways, I don't want to monopolize the
Trust me,
entirety
I
of
do taxes. It's tax season. It's horrible.
it
Horrible.
sucks.
And I
Horrible.
guess the question I really want to ask though, because because we've all said a lot. So I guess why are the victims always or most times perceived as threats before the facts even come out? You know what I mean? Because in both situations, to me it just seemed like the victims were. It's like they were belligerent, they were doing all these other things, but to me it just my purview. I didn't see it that way. Go ahead, Joe.
I'll start off. In the Alex situation, did he? I think he had a weapon with him at the presumed to be protest. I guess.
It's an
Is that
open.
illegal? Is
Is
that
is
illegal?
Minnesota open carry state?
Minnesota is
Yeah,
open carry.
it probably is. It's probably
At
Yeah,
concealed. You
minimum,
probably
it's
open carry.
concealed.
yeah, you could
Yeah,
probably conceal too.
Okay.
But I guess my point
it
is
was yeah.
my point is in those situations, and if you're on any job and somebody comes to you with their weapon, do you not pay attention or do you just ignore it?
He didn't come with his weapon though. It was concealed, right?
It was concealed.
Yeah,
Okay.
But
but
you have the
what I'm
right
So
to
saying,
know.
obviously
he had
somebody's
it on
seeing
him,
it though.
which legally he had a right to do. So again,
I'm
how did
not
that
denying.
justify him death?
I'm not denying. Come on, let's not move the goalposts. I'm not
We're not.
justifying
No,
his death.
we're
I'm not.
speaking facts. We're not moving goalposts.
So I think the part that you may be missing is that they
Jesus,
took it from him. No, 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 Joe. I'm trying to
God.
help you get your point.
I
They
don't. I
took it
don't need
from
the help.
him.
Let me ask the question
They took
first,
it
sis.
from him.
You won't even let me ask the question. But go ahead. You
Ask your
got it.
question, Joe. Ask
No,
your
it's all
question.
right. It's all right. You got it.
Ask your question, Joe. Ask your question.
It's okay. I'm good.
All right, Hook. Ask the next question because Joe don't want to participate.
I
No,
tried.
I'm still here. I really want to know why the victims are perceived as threats before the facts even come out. We're still here. Everybody quiet now.
No,
Well,
we want to hear
Thank you, Jessica. Thank you,
I
Yeah.
want
Jessica.
Joe to
Thank you,
respond.
Jessica.
Joe,
Me too.
respond.
I wanted to respond too, sis, but it's okay.
I think it's unfortunate that the climate we're in is to villainize everyone before you even start asking the questions. Like immediately, they're terrorists, they're Antifa, they're something against what is perceived to be right, even before you know their name.
that's
And
media. That's media for you, though. That's the big show. I mean, welcome to the show. I mean, if you didn't know you were a part of a show, you are a part of a show. You have been casted. You are the poor immigrant, or you are the middle
I always want
class
to be the
businessman.
star.
You welcome to the show. Essentially that's what it is. When you look at any type of main media, I would encourage you to please go get your news from independent sources that and listen to all sides. But when you start to look at these mainstream media, they're a part of a machine. And that is why you learn that they're black or they're white or they're Mexican before you ever learn their name. Why?
Male or female. Yeah.
Because
So that is also a problem. But I'm speaking of not what the media said, but what we're hearing from the camera lens at the podium that officials are saying who these people are
Right.
and what they represented
Right.
before we even knew if they're white, black, Mexican, their name, they're immediately demonized.
And I could be wrong,
Yeah.
but I think that this is probably the first time in history that I can recall that the president is actually participating in these shenanigans. Like
Right.
he's right doing at the forefront in enabling this behavior. But again, that's
So
neither here nor there.
so let me explain something to y'all. Usually the president does not run his Twitter account or any social media account for that matter. It's usually a group of people. See, When Biden was in office, my team was the team who ran his accounts.
Well, we know that
So
Biden didn't run anything.
Don't start that.
no,
Election.
Stop
no,
that.
hell no. You're
Don't
absolutely
start
right.
that.
Say what you want
My
to.
man.
Say what you want to. But you're right. No, but
Go
it
Joe.
it's simply because of the fact that, to be fair,
Joe and Joe.
they agree with what we're saying, and they like, usually that messaging goes up the chain to get approval and stuff like that. Like, plenty of people see it before it even comes out, right? The fact that Donald Trump has a phone at his fingertips. The first thing the Obama administration did when President Obama got into office, they took his BlackBerry. They took his BlackBerry and took control over all his accounts. Let's be quite clear when I say this. This administration, the first time he did this, he didn't know what he was doing. See, he got people who know what they're doing now. But this administration has not taken that man phone from him. And this is why he has so much to say about things, and he will villainize people to make it seem as if he has to jump on what's happening. The issue is that it's not factual in a lot of cases. He ends up having to backtrack in some instances. And even more so, all they'll do is delete it. He won't even properly apologize, won't properly say, I was wrong, anything of the sort. It's just literally, oh, it's deleted. So now it's non existent. So let's be quite fair here when we say this. This is the reason why you're seeing this, is because it does not fit the agenda. As Marcus said, you are a part of a show, and this is a shit show. You're absolutely correct. I'm not disagreeing with that. It is a shit show that you are watching in real time. And I have
I'll call
never
it an
seen this
experiment.
particular. Say that again.
I said I like to call it an experiment.
It is an experiment. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I've never seen this from any sitting president since I have been alive, and I'm 35 years old. I've seen
Yeah,
the
but
first
media
Bush,
is
the
totally
other
different
Bush.
now.
It
You
is.
see everything. Even if
It
you
is.
look back, it's hard for us to remember, but when Obama was in office, that was the dawn of the iPhone. So, I mean, we're starting to see a lot more and have free access to media that we, as a civilization, have never, ever, ever had. So you're just seeing everything amplified.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And then the fact is that you have a lot of media outlets and, like you said, independent media outlets at your fingertips. Um, I explain to people, please do your research before you start commenting on things, or before you allow people's comments or their commentary to dictate how you view things, specifically when it comes to media. Because at first it was Alex Preddy had a weapon on him. Alex Preddy did this, he did that. This was not their first run in. Okay. They had a run in with this guy the week before and he whipped their ass. Now they see him again. You don't think they antagonized him first, but he has a right to carry that weapon. They took it from him and then shot him. So, like, this is why the DOJ had to do a civil rights case. This is why they have deemed his murder a homicide. They don't do that unless there's clear evidence of it. I mean, there's clear autopsy evidence of that. And I think
Hmm.
my thing is that when we're speaking of media, the wrongness is not as loud as the correctness, if that makes any sense, because that's not what sells. It's not what gives them views in that 24-hour cycle. So you just have to realize that, like, being able to decipher what's actually real, looking at things from multiple angles, is definitely a must before you even comment or think what the issue is or the situation
Hmm.
is.
Yes, and I know my daughter's very opinionated. I do watch CNN, but I also flip to other stations all throughout the day because I do like to get different viewpoints of the same coin. And usually when I get all those viewpoints, I still lead me right back to my thought process is that they're overstepping their boundaries. None of these people deserve to be unalived, regardless of if they didn't follow a lawful order or whatever. I think that there is a clear line between when to use excessive force and when not to use excessive force. And I think they have lost that line. Um, there seems to be no boundary. The smallest thing can mean that someone can lose their life. And I think that is just asinine, period. But
So
Joe,
how do you guys think that? Because Marcus touched on it. Social media is different, way different than it was when Obama was obviously in
it
office, right?
is
So, how do social media and video footage change accountability, though? Like from we hear about these things, but when we actually see it, those things intertwine. Like, how do they change accountability?
It increases accountability, in my opinion, but it's still from the camera's perspective. It's a camera. And so you have to take in the living human beings that are in that situation and account for that. We can all sit here and judge the footage. I mean, it's, and ultimately that's where the accountability comes from. I mean, that's what a judge would do. I mean, he wasn't there and he's going to sit there and make a decision. The issue is the judgment's been made before it even reaches the courtroom.
because of all the footage, all the conversations, the TikToks, the Instagrams, the Facebooks.
Anybody with two eyes could clearly see that Alex was executed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can try to argue it one way or the other, but at the end of the day, it was an execution. I really don't see it any other way. Same, and I'm gonna bring this up, but even George Floyd, that was straight up an execution. Let's call it how it is. Okay, there is
We'll
a
probably
line,
disagree with that.
and I will also say, like, excessive force to me is if you have the person subdued, but then you take it an extra step to actually hurt them. Why? Because your little officer feelings were hurt. You know, this person, made you feel less of an officer, so I'm gonna sit there and strangle him with my knee. That's excessive force.
Okay,
The
bro,
man
you
was
can't
subdued.
pretend like the man ain't went no fentanyl either. Okay,
That that
come on, man.
Are we
yeah,
serious
That's
right now?
irrelevant.
Yeah, I'm dead serious.
Are
That's
The
we
man on
irrelevant.
fucking
fentanyl.
serious?
That's
Are you
People
totally
fucking
people
retarded?
die
irrelevant.
off fentanyl by touching it. Come on, man. The dude was high.
Nah, bro.
I'm not
You
saying
know
that
what?
I'm not saying the
No,
officer didn't kill
bro.
him.
No,
Maybe he
no, no,
did, but
no.
let's not
No,
pretend
sir.
that the man went no fentanyl too.
No, sir.
I'm
I
just
could
throwing
get
that
you
out
shit
there.
if you're on heroin. I could
Yeah.
get you shit
so
if you're
he
on
so
coke. I could get
he
I,
deserved to die because of that.
I didn't say he deserved to die. What I'm saying is he probably killed
Yeah,
himself
because
too.
So if
we
you're not
feeling on
saying
him
that,
that
then
you
why
he
even
ran
bring
his
that up
mouth
though?
because over
I
drugs.
just said that.
Joe.
Because
Come
he's
on.
trying to insinuate that no shit, this dude died because he had a knee on his neck. He possibly
Look,
could have
you're
died
going
because
to.
he's high.
Now you
Okay,
put a
first
knee
of
on my
all,
neck. I
let
mean,
me.
I'm just saying.
And this is
Saying
why I
what?
need you.
If
And
you
this is
taking
why I
fentanyl
need
without a
you
knee, you still
to
can die,
understand.
right?
And this is why I need you.
No,
I don't want my fentanyl with the
No.
knee. I put it that way.
I understand, but doesn't fentanyl kill people without a police officer's neck, knee
A
on their
knee
neck?
a knee on the neck could kill him too though.
But
No,
last
but
time I checked
we
his
are
autopsy,
confirming
he was killed from
that
asphyxiation,
fentanyl
not
can
from
kill you
fentanyl.
without a police officer's knee on your neck, right?
Let me be very
Right.
clear. Yes, it can.
so
Yes, it can. But let's
Come
be
on
clear.
now.
That's not
I'm
what
just
the
saying.
autopsy
Again,
stated.
maybe the police officer killed him. I don't know, and I don't care. To be
It's
honest
not a
with you,
maybe. This man
but the
was
fact of the
convicted
matter is,
for
the
it.
man was
The
on
problem is that you
fentanyl.
don't care.
So let's just
The
not
problem.
pretend like that's not a part of the problem.
Get me off this fucking call right now.
we
Get me off this motherfucker because I'm
Don't
sorry.
leave. Don't let Joe
And
get
good.
I'm
We
away.
saying,
good. We just having
you
a
know what it is?
conversation.
It's the blatant. I think it's the blatant ignorance on purpose. Like on purpose for me. Like you can sit here as first of all, as a person in general. I'm not even talking about you as a black man, as somebody who's in the military, as someone who lives in the South. You can sit here in my goddamn face and tell me that you didn't watch that 9-minute video and sit there and hear that man call for his mama. And then you sitting here talking about someone he died from fentanyl. First of all, his autopsy said he died from asphyxiation. That means that he had compression on his neck and it was stopping him from breathing. So I need you to have the understanding that you keep telling me to land the plane, but at the
Yeah,
end of the
I
day,
get it.
like your ignorance
For,
is like your
do
ignorance,
me a
you're
favor. Do me a
willingly
favor. Instead of
provoking
watching a
ignorance is
9-minute
killing.
video, watch the whole hour-long video.
You can watch the whole hour-long video. I could care less. What happened in that 9
All right.
minutes is what
Okay.
matters
You got
most. And that's
it,
why he's
sis.
convicted.
At the end of
That's
the
why he's
day,
in
Just
jail
keep it
now.
up, King.
that's fine. I don't care. The fact of the
That
matter
is
is that
disgusting.
just I'm just throwing it out there.
You can
Sorry.
throw it out
It's
there all you
different
want to, but
opinion.
you're throwing
It's a
out
good
irrelevant
conversation.
stuff.
To you,
It's not just to me. People die every day from opioids in this country, but at the same
thank you.
time, this man literally died on camera at the hands of a police officer who was meant to protect and serve. If anything, that officer
While
had him
under fentanyl.
subdued,
That's all I'm saying.
and that
I'm
officer had
agreeing
him
with you.
subdued and
I'm
could
agreeing
have
with
put
you.
him into
I'm agreeing
custody,
with
he
you.
would still
All
be
I'm
alive
saying is just
today.
add in the fentanyl part. That's all.
You can add in the
Why?
fentanyl all day
Why?
long, Joe.
That's it.
Why?
All I'm
Why?
saying,
Why are we adding
the
the
officer,
fentanyl again?
because
What are we talking about right now?
that kills people too.
We're not saying it doesn't, Joe.
It
Look,
kills people
two things
too.
can be true at
That's
once.
it.
You can be willfully ignorant, and that point can be true at the same
Got it.
time.
Got it.
I
Got it. I
said
just made my point. That's
this
all.
man's autopsy said he died from asphyxiation, not
That's
fentanyl.
fine.
End
That's
of
fine.
discussion.
That's
That's a
fine.
scientific
You
fact.
got you got it.
The fact that you even brought George Floyd in that,
No, but
Thank
this
you.
is
But
Yeah.
ultimately,
Don't put him like that,
the
Joe.
reason
Yeah.
the reason we have the ability to have these opinions is because of social media. That's
Mm-hmm.
ultimately the circle back here is
Mm-hmm.
we all can sit here and we can be our own judges.
mhm.
You know, and we in the history of humanity, this is the first time that the mass populace can have an opinion on something so localized, and it's being amplified um, over and over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to say something. But where were the liberal whites standing out there protesting, impeding officers when it came to George Floyd? Where were they?
They were there.
But they're
They were
so
there.
they're oh yeah, but in
Baby,
this
they
way,
were there.
in this way,
They were
in this
there.
way, in this okay, in this way, not in this way. They're out there literally ready to go to war over illegal
First,
immigrants.
hold on, let me state this real quick for you. Minnesota has been a Democratic state since 1972. So when
Mm-hmm.
we're talking about liberal white people, it's the majority of the state. And number two, when George Floyd died, they protested. It was white people there. It was a lot of white people there. Not a lot of black people because a lot of black people don't live in Minnesota. I know this because Minnesota is the one of the states that we literally focus on because it is a democratic state. It's not changing anytime soon. Has not changed in the past almost 40 years.
But
So
don't you
let's
also
when
don't
we
you see
talk
also
about
see
that.
a correlation between that and like let's just say Florida, for instance? Florida completely complies with ICE and does everything that they need to do, and they've deported in 2025 alone about 67,000 people. Have you seen anybody
Yeah,
dying on the streets of Florida?
you
No.
in the
How
right
many have
spirit.
Minnesota deported in 2025? Less than 1,600. And yet, we're seeing people
Um,
die on the streets of Minnesota.
let
Why?
me let me ask you a
Because
question.
they're not
How many
cooperating.
illegal hold on, wait a minute. How many illegal immigrants are in Minnesota versus how many are in Florida?
Well, I can ask
Answer that
ChatGPT.
question. Oh
I
no,
can
no,
find
no. I
out
can
real
give you.
quick.
I can give you. You ain't even got to. You ain't got to do that. I can give you the answer. It's 130,000 in
It's
Minnesota, and
irrelevant.
it's 1 point. No, it is.
Jesus
It's not.
Christ.
It is
Why you
relevant.
gotta give pushback on
It's
everything?
relevant. It's
Well,
Jeez.
relevant.
You can
that's the
have the
point.
whole show to
But you
yourself,
but you
Nah,
sis.
but you're
Come
It's
on,
talking
it's
our
not
you're
man.
push. It's
talking
opinion.
about
not
We gotta
pushback.
Right.
It's
be.
ratios.
an
Black
It's our
people
opinion.
be
opinion.
progressive.
Talk about
Yeah, but
ratios
she got
then.
her
You
opinion on
literally
everybody pushback. Come on, man. And then when you try to push back on
listen.
her, she wanna get attitude about it.
No, but
I'm
her
not
point
getting
Come
what
on,
her
man.
point
attitude.
was
You ain't
the
is.
number of immigrants that
Okay.
are in Minnesota pales in comparison to what's in Florida.
So what's in
So
Florida
yeah, they
and
should have more
Texas?
deportations.
Right. But the point is but you making his point.
I'm not
There's
making his
there's
point.
With more
What I'm
illegal
trying to get him
immigrants,
to
nobody's dying.
understand, what
nobody's
You
I'm trying
making
to
his
dying.
get him
Nobody's
point.
to
dying in Florida.
understand
That's
is
what I'm
that
saying. Right. They
people
making
are
your
not
point and don't even realize
dying
it.
because of the fact that those are the only states that are being targeted are
And then
Democratic
on top
states
of that,
right
we
now.
talking about 2 deaths in Minnesota?
We're not talking
2?
about 2 deaths. We're
No, it's a
talking
little bit
about
more than two.
How
it's
many?
been more
Okay.
than two.
How many?
Thank you.
How
Pay
Was
many?
it?
attention.
Was it? What was
Hold
it?
on. How many? How many? That's what I thought.
It
So
doesn't
yeah.
matter though. It really doesn't matter the
No,
number.
no, 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 no. Come
No,
on,
no, it
man.
really
No,
It
it
don't
doesn't
doesn't
matter
matter.
matter.
now.
It's irrelevant. It's
Why does it
irrelevant.
Any
No,
more
Cause
than
y'all
because
stand,
the
y'all
so
stand on
fact
there
the fact
arguing
of the
real
matter
hard.
is
It's number
the
2. It's number
people
2. How
the
many?
deaths we're
I don't
talking
know.
about
It don't
aren't even the
matter.
people that they're supposed to be deporting. We're not talking about
Oh my
immigrants that they're
god.
deporting. We're talking about U.S. citizens, and that's when it becomes an issue. Now, I do know that everyone's
Mm.
given, and I truly I wish we had more time because this conversation can literally go all night, right? Now before we head out, I do want to get I want to get some parting shots from everybody. I want everybody to leave an opinion that they want to something they want to leave the audience with, a takeaway, just something you want to give us to think about. The reason we have these conversations, even though I have my opinion, I enjoy hearing the opinions of others, right? Because I'm not always right, and they're facts that I'm not even aware of. So I've learned a lot tonight as well. So I give us something, give us one thing that you want to leave the audience with. And Socorro, we're gonna go ahead and start with you. Give me one thought you want to leave the audience with.
I actually care about people whether they're living or they're dying. It doesn't matter. I care. That's it. That's all I got for you right
That's all you
now.
got, sis.
That's all I got. I
That's it.
actually do care. That like I literally the work that I do literally is about me caring about people. And
Mm-hmm.
it's not about whether or not I'm going to retire in 20 years or whether I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to be sitting pretty later on or whether I'm going to just live in a fucking bubble. I actually realize that people out here are suffering and they're dying. And this is not the first time. It's been going on forever, yes. And I understand the work that I'm doing is thankless. But my issue is that when people start saying that they don't care
Mm-hmm.
about people who are actually doing their God-given right and actually using their voice and protesting a government that has been severely oppressing people and it's severely in your face at this point. I don't know how to feel anymore about people and their sensitivity or whatever it comes down to. But at the end of the day, there are people who have died at the hands of this immigration customs enforcement and they have to be held accountable and these people are not going to be in power forever. And when they aren't in power, I want people to understand that the hammer is going to come down on them and they are going to have to answer for what they're doing. So whether you believe in them what they're doing or don't, the fact
Mm-hmm.
that they're killing these people illegally, detaining people illegally, obtaining people illegally,
Mm.
all of that is going to come to the forefront.
Yeah.
Remember Nuremberg.
Okay,
Appreciate
girl,
it, sis.
don't hurt your
See?
neck now.
I know you saw that,
Don't
right?
hurt your neck
All
now.
right, Joe, what you got, sir?
Hey, good show. First off, I want to apologize for the technical difficulties to start off the show. But I guess I was able to jump in right on time. I guess anything I can give for the folks back home or who's watching, I'll say this: continue doing what you're doing, meaning like stick to your own priorities, whether it's working, taking care of your families, maybe a vacation here and there. Nothing wrong with protesting. Nothing wrong with protesting. I've been to several protesting. All of them can be safe if you want it to be. So that being said, uh, don't bother people, too, especially law enforcement. If they're doing their job, let them do their job. Simple as that. Stay out of their way. Don't bother them. You know, and just live your life. If you're doing what you're supposed to, you really don't have to worry about much, in my opinion. And I'm just going based on my experiences. So, other than that, I wish everyone a good night. Again, stay safe. Take care.
Appreciate you, brother.
Hmm.
All right, Marcus, what you got, sir?
Um, I believe there is a legal way to enter the country, and you should take every single avenue in order to do so. I do believe that some people have not had that opportunity, nor the funds in order to do that. There are people in this country that are less fortunate, and they have had just enough fortune to make it across that border, and they have been productive citizens. I believe there should be a fast track. If they can prove that they have paid their taxes and have been productive citizens, I believe there should be a very, very fast track to get them as American citizens. If you have come here and you have violated our laws and you have stepped over the line, I believe you should be deported. Because we already gave you the benefit of the doubt by not deporting you, and then you stepped over into be a criminal. You should be gone. But if you have been a productive citizen and contributed to society, I believe you should stay. I believe we should rally around those people and do everything in our power to keep them here because they are what makes America great. That is what makes America great. Is the people who literally sit here and work elbow to elbow with their fellow citizens to make their societies a better place.
I appreciate you, Marcus, man. It was a pleasure.
Yes.
All right, Shannon, what you got, sis?
Look, first of all, I gotta say thank all the guests for coming on tonight. I mean, I appreciate when we do have these conversations and we get so many different varying points of view. And like Cook said, sometimes you learn some stuff, you change your opinion, you rethink what you're thinking. But Marcus, I definitely agree with you. I think that if someone comes over here illegally and they commit a crime, they definitely should be deported. And we should have a way for people who are contributing to our society to become citizens. Um, and in a way that doesn't cost so much money. Because I just heard you, we talked before the show that, you know, you just went through an experience and how expensive it is for someone to get citizenship. And I just think that that is just a barrier that shouldn't be there. The whole premise of our country was somewhere immigrants can come and build a different lifestyle, better lifestyle, and live what is supposed to be the American dream. So I just thank all of you all for being here, and I thank you for sharing your opinions, speaking candidly, and allowing others to speak their opinions very candidly. I still think that ICE is overstepping their boundaries. I wholeheartedly think that. I think that they are civil enforcement, civil law enforcement, and not criminal law enforcement. And when you're doing something from a civil perspective, how you do it should not include excessive force. What I've seen deemed as excessive force, or no one should ever lose their life over a civil matter. Period. And I think Hook, you said that, or someone mentioned that they're having to wear masks because they're being attacked. But I think that they came out from the jump hiding their identities. You know, before we even understood what was happening, they came out hiding their identities. And I think that's what sparked so much confusion and rage and uncertainty because we're like, why? And now it has become just something that we identify ICE with. They're going to hide their identities. They're not going to want to show who they are because they have no desire to do things in a proper manner. But again, I just thank y'all for being here. Thank you, Marcus. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Sakura. I appreciate y'all and y'all's
Yeah,
perspective. These
definitely.
words tonight, okay? These
Right,
words.
absolutely, and I enjoy having these conversations. And personally, I don't think we have these conversations enough.
We do
I
not.
think these are definitely necessary. And regardless of my opinion, I love to hear other people's opinions because I learn a lot of things that I didn't previously know. I know my opinion is not always the right one. It's not always wrong, but it's not always right either. But I do appreciate you guys being candid. You sharing your thoughts, Joe. You know you're always welcome, brother. You know we go back a ways, so glad to have you
I don't
back
know.
on.
I don't know.
Hey man, hey Joe, good people. Hey Socorro, obviously, other than the fact that you're an Eagles fan, everything else we agree on, so you know it's all good.
Oh, not it all makes sense now.
Yeah, so it's all good. And Marcus, this is your first time on, man. We'd love to have you back on. I
Yeah,
love
that'd
your
be great. Thank
perspective.
you. Thank you.
Absolutely. I'm glad to have you back on. Glad to meet you, and
Nice to meet you.
I'm looking forward to seeing you again. Shannon, you already know how we roll. As always, I appreciate the sis. Love you. And for the audience, this was a heavy topic, man. Heavy topic today, but it was one that was necessary. So we want to keep the conversation going in the comments, and we'll see you next time. So until then, stay curious and stay informed. We'll be seeing
Exactly.
you.
All right.